This is another thing I wasted a lot of time on. As a comedian, you end up getting asked to do a lot of gigs that have absolutely nothing to do with comedy. And the most irritating version I had to deal with recently was a guy got in touch with me and he asked me if I wanted to be the judge of a wet Teeshirt contest. And there was no way I was going to do it, but I wanted to be a dick about it. So, because the guy came off, he was the kind of guy that runs a wet T-shirt contest. So this is an email exchange between me and wet T-shirt contest promoter and likely date rapist, Mark. Mark, yes, I am extremely interested in the gig. But other things I'm also extremely interested in are fairness and the spirit of competition. When I was starting out in comedy, I was asked to judge a pie eating contest as a part of the Bear Mountain Blueberry and Comedy Festival. The rules of the competition and criteria by which I was to cast my judgment were either poorly explained or not explained at all. I crowned a winner based on her having eaten the most pies. This seemed a reasonable course to me. The runner-up disagreed, however, by way of attacking me physically. His position, if it could be called that, was that he had eaten more pie out of each of the pies. And the winner had cheated by simply shoving her face in the pie and then flinging the tin away. What difference does it really make, you fat simpleton? Didn't seem like the prudent thing for me to say at the time. So I changed my vote, thereby starting a small riot. I would love to judge your wet T-shirt contest, but I'm going to have to ask for some very specific instructions as to what you're looking for in a winner. Sorry to be a pain about this, but if you've never heard of the Bear Mountain Blueberry and Comedy Festival, it's because that was the last one. Fill me in on the details, and I'll be there. So I wrote that expecting just no response, but 6 minutes later, Mark responds, "Oh man, that sounds crazy." This isn't really a serious competition, though. We pretty much just want you guys to comment on the contestants, kind of roast them and the ref. You know, stuff like that. And then this next line sort of made me start to like Mark. He said, "It doesn't matter who wins, and all the contestants know that." Thanks a lot, Mark. And that amused me, but I was already joke committed at this point, so I plunged ahead. "Hey, Mark, for some reason I was unable to open your last email. I'll just jump right into the meat of the problem as I see it. What I'm most concerned with is what I hope you'll allow me to call the absorption variable. Is a T-shirt that is as wet as it's capable of being more or less wet than a T-shirt that is as wet as it's capable of being? To my mind, the answer is plainly no. I see saturation, and I think the last 200 years of science backs me up here as an absolute state. A shirt unable to take in any more moisture is as wet as any other shirt that is unable to take in any more moisture. If a wet T-shirt contest purports to measure the amount of water present, then clearly a more absorbent shirt holds an advantage. But that standard is never made clear. My question for you is this, Mark. Are you willing to make that standard clear?" I really think we're onto something here. Talk to you soon, James. So I wrote that at 4 a.m, and Mark, I guess he woke up the next morning. I think he kind of figured out what was going on. So he just wrote back, "Hey James, you know what, man? Thanks anyway, but we already found someone for the gig. I'll keep you in mind for things I have down the road. Thanks again, Mark." So I concluded, Hey, Mark, my cat jumped on my laptop and accidentally deleted your last email. I've gone ahead and cleared my schedule for the night of Wednesday the 12th. Because I feel that generally speaking, we're on the same page here. We just have to iron out a few more of the epistemological and ontological problems, and then figure out who's going to pick me up to bring me to the gig. As to the philosophical questions, I'm working on a full-length paper in a Word file. There are images, so I'll send it over as an attachment. I'm not sure how familiar you are with standard notation and formal logic, but there's a fair amount of it. So as to my ride, I don't mind if you hire a car or just send a friend to pick me up, as long as whoever it is told not to honk the horn outside my house. My cat sleeps Wednesdays. Thanks again for the gig. Really looking forward to helping you crown the most deserving wet T-shirt contest winner. See you then. So then just very, very quickly, I have the email that I'm going to send on the 12th. Just very good. Just, Mark, I said no honking outside my house. My cat's wide awake and as angry as I've ever seen him. I'm getting in a cab. I'm bringing the cat. Be outside.
Guys, thank you very much. Have a great night. Thank you.